Action.
Go Gadget run a game.
Yeah,
Nat.
it's happening. There you go.
Hi. Howdy.
It's happening.
Is it
Come and
happening?
be welcome. We're logging on here for session 0 of Quest to the Soaring City. Infographic. You gotta make it now, Sam. I called it out.
Oh, damn it.
And we're just doing our normal session 0 stuff where we lay the foundation for telling an epic tale of what is likely to be very small interpersonal issues that we all laugh about. And just setting up that improvisational foundation. So, and I know this is a little different because in the past we've done session 0 and we've been like, okay, time to play the game. And I'm like, that's not how I do session 0. Although we might get to some of that depending on the kind of alacrity we get through. So to start, I would actually just like to have a little discussion about themes, because I am big into the concept of stating the ideas we want to play with so that we're all on the same page to work forward with them, particularly for improv focused endeavors like this, where you're not writing the shit down, figuring out as you go. You got to have the idea to start, otherwise it won't come to fruition, usually. Sometimes you can luck into it. So this isn't just Nat flaps his gums. This is a conversation, a dialogue where we talk about things we would like to address. Themes like nature versus civilization, found family, and friendship are very common for TTRPGs. But you can also do stuff like hope and the hopeless, the life being relentless, but we persevere. It can be more esoteric, crab smoking cigarette kind of stuff.
Life is fucking
Wait, is this a saying of some sort? I am so confused.
I possess a mug with a crab smoking a cigarette on it that says "Life is fucking relentless."
I know that mug. All right, it becomes clear now.
I vote for crab smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that's a whole ass mood. That's the pandemic mood.
I bought it literally the week I got furloughed from work. I'm like, this is what I need.
It fits. So, are we looking for a game that is fucking relentless and just it rains? When it rains, it pours? Or are we looking for something that's more about a shining light of hope? That's something that we can look forward to and feel better about ourselves. What are the feels?
IRL life is relentless enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always one to make it sad because that's my jam.
Let's smash the system.
Lena's sad from the jump, so I wouldn't mind it not being sad.
I mean, yeah.
Of course,
She's
no matter what we
sad.
do, even Avatar: The Last Airbender, and She-Ra, there are things that are sad in them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's never going to be straight sunshine and rainbows.
Well, yes, correct.
Yeah.
You said something?
I said, let's smash the system. I'm not joking.
I'm always down for
my whole
real
thing
life.
is
in real life.
In real life and in the game.
Yeah.
So
my whole thing is I'm robbing the rich to give to the poor. Let's eat the rich. Let's eat the rich.
I'm game for that. So notably, I've used this setting before, and usually the floating city itself of Valerith isn't a shitty place. Obviously there are shitty people who do shitty things, but usually the whole structure is pretty all right. That could not be the case, because I know for a fact for myself, it can be hard to imagine a society that isn't shitty, because that's all we kind of live with. And I'm not kidding. I have to stop myself and be like, okay, Nat, no, this person needs to be a good person as the default. So do we want it to be something to fix, or alternatively, the smashing the systems could be the places that aren't on the city? Because part of the goal here is that this thing visits fucking places, Ideas, thoughts, figures, emotions.
I think we could play it as one of those idealistic cities that deep down in the core they're proper rotten, right? So outwards facing, it looks like the perfect place, right? But who knows?
I like it.
Deal.
Not quite Colombia, but
the other way to kind of direct that is, this city was taken back in a revolution against Baron Kolvrax, and usually that's a few decades in the past. But if it's more recent, then we've all probably listened to Hamilton. After there's a revolution, things go into turmoil a little bit. So
spoilers.
I will fight you.
Y'all across the pond don't know about American history.
Oh,
I mean, I could use Toussaint Louverture, the play about the Haitian Revolution, if you'd prefer something less spoilery.
Carry on.
Spoiler alert: there was a revolution and we won.
Yeah, but
sorry
closer to
there were a lot of them.
Yeah, so being closer to that, it would be a little less smash the system and a little more keep the system from becoming shit.
Sure.
That's an idea.
I like that.
That's kind of cool.
Being closer to the
I mean,
right after the revolution.
And I and that creates an interesting home for those of us who were or are vigilantes.
Yeah, because it's like a shift of gears, right? Because it's coming from a bad place, and we fought what was clearly bad, and now it's more about finding, wait, what's bad now? What should we find now?
Right? How do
Yeah.
you exist when you're used to fighting all the shit, and now the shit's not the
as
big
visible
deal anymore.
At least. Yeah.
You need
We
to go
suffered
find
and
it.
we fought and we killed for the notion of nation we now get to build.
I
Hey,
think
we're in
those
the
are
shit
both
now,
cool,
and somebody's got to
but
shovel it.
either they still both have very different feels, I guess. Are
They
we
do.
smashing a patriarchy down, or are we trying to help maintain something new?
So, as a corollary to that concept, I would like it, no matter what, that that the party is invested in the city. I don't want it to be, one shitty thing. Guess we'll just get off at the next stop and live our lives. I want it to be turned towards, not turn away. Just as a concept.
So we have to want to help the place we're in, basically.
So the way I built.
Back to Sam's question now.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So the idea of, because Sam's right, the idea of taking down something that's entrenched and problematic is very different than let's keep this thing from becoming that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you could mix both of them, right? You can mix both of them and say that there's this new era, right, that we want to maintain. And for that, we need to make sure that the people that were invested in the previous era, but somehow made it through, don't use their power webs to gain control of the new era under the guise that it's new, right?
A lot like the Meiji era in
I could
Japan.
see that.
Yes. I know
Japan switching over to the
I
Meiji
understand
era
that
was a
reference.
lot like that.
Sure. I knew that, and that's
I
why I
understand that
suggested it.
reference.
Thanks, Megan.
There's a
Now let's go watch
Some
Rurouni
stuff.
Kenshin.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a dynamic that happens is the regime changes but then some people, often people who are most powerful will actually just shield themselves and maintain power just under a different guise.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well because when big power shifts happen, not everybody is so intensely affected by it. The lower down people are just not going to notice as much as those in power who are no longer in power. So it's kind of finding a place in the world while also trying to keep the bad people down.
In the past, when everyone like I said, the revolution's been in the past, but also the actual power structure from before was this Baron Kolvrax guy, which was big, uppercase evil, necromancy and zombies, and used this thing wasn't a city, it was a weapon of warfare, and it was uppercase evil, whereas if we're doing this, it's probably a little less black and white in that scenario. The person might have been bad and I don't want bad things, but it's less the one person magicking to control this power, a little more of a structure.
Yeah.
Political machinations than armies of zombies.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and if you look at things, even the French Revolution, there were a lot of people in the first and second estate who joined the revolution to keep power. So like there's definitely
in their heads
that. Well, yes, but there's definitely that thing of like, well, yes, my brain took an extra moment to finish processing that. But yeah, there's definitely that kind of a thing. So yeah, there could certainly be some people from the old system that went along and that are a problem.
Okay,
It's an idea.
so I guess kind of what are we feeling? Because I feel like we're sort of expounding more on like the same ideas. Like we never answered that first sort of, I guess, like what feel do we want this to have, like that taking down or changing and building things up.
What I would ask, what's your preference there? What are you sitting on this?
I
right now?
honestly don't have too much of a preference in that camp because I'm gonna have to kind of like massage Ro to like fit them into the city anyway, and I'm kind of waiting to see what we land on to decide how I'm gonna do that, because I can definitely, like, I'll be able to make anything work. So like,
and admittedly, I feel a little bad about it because normally this conversation happens before character creation, so I'm really trying to not just axe people's characters out of the existence, although I know you're flexible and brilliant, and no matter what, we will work to make all the characters work.
Oh yeah, like I could definitely make Ro like fit in here. Like yeah, I got an idea
honestly, just
already
being,
kind of for either of those. That's kind of the same thing regardless, so.
I mean, honestly, just being young in a revolution is a perspective you don't see a lot, so that just by itself has value.
Every revolution needs a Gavroche.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Perfect.
Okay, so Nunu, you came down as one to the other one because the second idea of kind of the transition, because I'm guessing it's because it's a little more different, a little less done.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it might be interesting to explore that, like, not black and white regime where this is the evil, let's fight that, and more exploring, wait, what really still remains of the evil that we were fighting, and figuring out that maybe what we thought was evil, maybe it's a good thing now? I don't know. Something like that.
The real evil
I like
is
the
friends we
intricacies
made
of
It.
I like the intricacies of the politics of a regime change. I like that idea a lot. My character will fit in anything because it's all about just, saving lives, but I like the idea of that thing.
Save a life.
Oh my god.
I mean,
don't give me. I will cry.
Because of Scrubs, I will cry from that.
No, yeah, I was saying definitely because
It's my favorite episode.
Oh god, it's hard. It's hard.
That was the song I listened to on loop to work through my dad's passing. I will cry.
Oh.
Right. I shall sing it no more.
Like I definitely like the idea of figured, like, especially like from my character's standpoint too, like working through like exploring a regime change and like how things change, because like at the same time like she's had like a big change going, like leading into where the campaign's picking up, and I think that's really interesting to explore as well, from a selfish personal standpoint.
Sure.
Hey, that's
fine.
valid.
Cool.
Hey, if you have a character idea in mind, that's a perfectly valid reason to cast your vote down in a direction.
Yeah, like I think like that can definitely work for Faris very well, and like could definitely maybe even tie into like something that happened to her in the past that she's like carrying with her as baggage, and now she's like, oh, I couldn't figure it out then, but I can help sort it out now for other people, or something like that.
I see it. As the person who originally posited the let's smash the system concept, is this satisfying in that similar way for you?
Oh yeah, and I'm very glad you all actually like it, because that's just my general mood like all the time right now, so
insane.
So yeah, like, definitely, and like either version of that would work for what I have in mind for Faris, but like definitely what we're talking about right now would work really well as well.
All right, so that's a conceit and a theme that we want to explore. So that's like a kind of content-based theme. what about more emotional based themes? So what kind of tone are we trying to strike? And obviously a certain amount of it will end up just converging towards telling a story and laughing our faces off with our friends, but there's some variations therein. This is probably just stop until someone talks.
Yeah.
No, because in my brain, there's a little like chibi 8-bit version of myself just with those like those monkeys that have the symbols just going sad. Sad. That's what my goblin brain's doing. It's like,
my god.
What if we made it really sad? I know.
What if I made a character who's like really traumatized and really sad?
Me?
I mean, that's the good shit though, right?
Yeah.
Me?
That is the good shit.
Oh, that's where all the juicy bits live.
I mean, we have a brand.
I can build on that a little bit, because if we want to like set the base tone as sad, right? Just everyone's just trying to live their best lives.
We're a Charles Dickens novel up in this bitch. Like, it's just gray.
Oh my god.
It's always raining. There are orphans everywhere.
Ro already doesn't wear
I'm into
shoes.
that.
Yep, like it's already like everyone's got consumption. Like we're just going full Dickens in the air.
I love it.
But what if I suggest that we take the kind of approach where everything is as a baseline sad, but there's always that one random thing that no one expects that just brings color and vibrancy to the setting. Like, for example, as you were like depicting the sad rainy street, whatever, but then there's this literally this rack of clothes drying in the first floor or whatever, and it's just filled with color. That, I know it's a bit metaphorical and esoterical what I'm describing, but hopefully it makes sense.
I get what you're saying. Well, also, like
it can't rain all the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, try me.
But every once in a while.
You do have God, what was I gonna say? I had something important to say. Fuck me. It wasn't that. It'll come back. Whatever.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is more of it's the little things kind of scenario, right? The unexpected joys.
I remember.
There we go.
So also, in the post-revolutionary standpoint, there's usually a lot, while things might be grim at times, there is a lot of like electricity. There's a lot of energy therein.
Yeah.
And also, as a literal flying city, there is an exceptional amount of breadth to this city. Because it literally flies around and picks up people from all over the world. So, you'll have your darks, but you also have your lights and celebrations and commemorations and moments where people come together.
Yeah, there's always, I'm now thinking of like in Rise of Skywalker, where it's like, yeah, everything sucks, and then you end up like on this planet in the middle of a festival, and for like
it's Mardi Gras.
And for like 7 minutes, things are pretty great, and you forget that the world is shit. And then at
Spoilers.
8.0 and at 8.1, it's garbage again because the stormtroopers are here.
Yeah,
but that kind of stuff
in
can be
Avatar,
definitely
like when you have
be good.
the beat, like things are hard, and then you have a beach episode,
Yeah.
like, and things aren't all bad.
Yeah.
Please.
I don't know about you guys, but I am very excited to explore the mechanics of a street festival in a floating city.
Oh, I'm all as like garbage for BioShock Infinite, one of my favorite games of all time. I am like so pumped to be on a flying city. I'm so excited.
Flying cities, airships.
Excellent.
So I think this is us asking for a festival episode, Nat.
I heard that loud and clear. That
For
figured out
7
one.
minutes. We are owed 7 minutes of happiness.
And can we have a festival episode, please?
No. So that's kind of
ruined it.
where that gives us some tone idea, and we have some content idea. So one other particular thing is Quest's a little bit softer, in the like. I'm gonna be more blunt. It's a little softer in the like murder people department.
Right.
Do people die in our game, or did they just have bad things happen to them and disappear?
Do you mean like in general, or like how do we want to handle player character in specific?
Everyone's
like death?
Immortal.
No, I was talking more in general because I'm thinking as an inspiration. This is a game where people might not die. The bad guy isn't defeated by cutting their head off. They're defeated by getting crushed by some rocks and then thrown in jail.
As predominantly lately I've been playing a lot of masks, and like people don't die in masks. Like you don't kill people do not die, and there's something really cool about that. And it's not even like there's a lack of punishment for bad things. Like you can get totally messed up emotionally or physically without, like, you don't need the fear of death for like choices to be impactful. And I think that's kind of cool, and I think it'll be a cool departure from like your standard like D&D and a lot of other TTRPGs to like have that. That's my 2 cents. Like, I'll kill people if y'all want to kill people, but
and we can strike somewhere in the middle.
I'm
we can strike somewhere in the middle if we.
I don't mind either way.
Like maybe if they're real bad, they guns to die, but.
And we can land somewhere in the middle. Like, I just feel like I want to be intentional on this particular point because I don't want our quest game to end up being us playing D&D and Quest.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess also if we land somewhere in the middle, then when the PCs do kill someone, it will have more weight to it rather than just sort of like hacking through a horde of goblins over and over again, which is a feeling like, cool, so these people just like straight up kill everyone they meet. Which is
someone tries to mug you on the street and you just cut their fucking head off. Are you okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely
you need to see a therapist. Like damn.
That's definitely like an interesting point. To like everything will have more weight.
Yeah.
So I think I personally believe that the weight of death is a super important thing to draw, especially if we want to take it towards the sad kind of vibes. I think it's super important to have that natural human feeling of being afraid of death. So I wouldn't want to stipulate from the beginning that no, there's no death, no one dies, right? I think we can stipulate as a group that we're not about that. We're not about the hack and slash.
Yeah.
We're about doing things in a decent way, and then eventually death might happen to one of us or one of whoever we're facing, but we can still have that notion that death is present and people die and bad things happen.
It's not flippant.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everything is more weighty.
It has weight.
As I said, like it's not like you're carving through a horde of goblins. Like when we start, like if you experience death, like it's going to pack a punch.
And if a PC kills someone, that means they're doing it for a good reason or something out of their control or something.
Or there's
like everyone I meet I murder because they're in my way.
I mean,
or maybe
PC
they
murders somebody for seemingly not a big reason, that creates some interesting moments from within the party too. Like if somebody just fucking kills somebody when it could have been solved without killing somebody, like that creates interesting dynamics within the party, which will be fun. Which we
that's
love
what I
that
mean.
juicy crap.
That's what I mean when I think it's more of a notion of deciding as a party our approach than to actually implement it in the setting. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Sam, you seem like you were trying to get something in a couple times there.
I was just thinking, like, kind of, the way in, most games, the sort of assumption is if you take, like, an enemy or, somebody down to, like, 0 HP or whatever, it means, like, that NPC is dead or whatever. Maybe we just sort of flip it, so it's like something like, if we bring, like, just sort of a general understanding where it's like, oh, like, if we're bringing somebody down to, like an enemy down to, like, no health, like, it's assumed to be non-lethal unless we specify, because I feel like that sort of adds that weight of, like, no, if you're gonna kill somebody, like, you've gotta mechanically fucking say it now.
I like that. Default assumption is they drop, if you want them dead, you gotta say it.
Right.
That's actually, funny enough, that's exactly what I have in the TTRPG system I'm developing. I have something called a killing blow, which is as a free action, when you bring somebody to 0 hit points, you may state you're doing a killing blow, but otherwise they are considered to not die. So I like that personally.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and it does give more weight to it to be like, and I want to kill them.
Right? You know, like, and that would be lethal, and like, like everybody's got to fucking take that in. Like,
It also takes out, like, it gives the players more control over that, because like I've played games where, you know, it hasn't been established whether like spells can do non-lethal damage or like damage over the threshold of their HP by a certain amount is automatically going to kill them, and it's like, but I didn't want to kill them, I just rolled a crit, that's not my fault.
And like, if you do enough, I might, like, if there's a commoner at 2 HP and you call down lightning on them and do 10 damage, I'm probably gonna say they're dead, but I think you knew that going into the action.
Yeah, as long as that's specified, yeah.
All right. Kind of a similar nuts and boltsy kind of thing. Quest, there's not money. So do we want the act that actually there's no money in our world, or do we want it to be that there's money, we just don't futz with it?
I'm okay with that latter, mostly because I think it's easier, kind of, you know, like...
No, you must count every copper
As humans who live in a capitalistic world, we will default to being like, why'd they do it? Well, they paid me. Oh, shit. Fuck. You know, like, that happens. That will happen if we don't. But it does make a statement if we don't.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, part of me, like, when I think about, like, how Wildmount went, and a lot of it just came up to being, like, the siblings are rich, and they, like, and we just know that they have enough money to do it. Like, that, there's something very, like, that just, like, there are other things to worry about that aren't...
Yeah. Well, in Quest, the mechanics of the game are how we're going to run it. You know, it says you can get basic goods and services without having to worry about anything. That's how it's going to happen. The question is whether that's not worrying about the money and say you exchange it, or if that's literally just society works where you can walk in and get a bowl of food and you didn't have to pay them because our society is different than that.
So I think...
I know, weird idea.
Yeah, no, that's
I mean,
fair,
I'm
right?
into it.
Like, yeah, I'm into it too.
Yeah. Once again, right? I know it might sound a bit nihilistic, but the tone we set in the beginning, right, about these shifts in power, I think currency might always be the easiest way to implement those power gaps between people, right? But we can definitely not use it, and that just means that we need to come up with some other reason why the power difference is there, right?
Like,
I mean,
maybe
better motivations.
Or maybe it's shifting away.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe it could be that used to be the case, that they used to use currency, and now
now
they're like shifting towards a barter system or something.
That's interesting.
Right? And I mean, there's other things too, like, you know, like now you can try to like want to live in the nicer parts of the city or something like that, you know, like how do you get the best housing in this sort of society? And like that's where the power balance shifts instead, you know?
So another question kind of exists within this is, if that's how Valerith works, that's one thing. But if we then go and land other places in the world, do they have money?
Oh my god, are we gonna be the United Federation with no goddamn credits and everybody else is the fucking Ferengi? Like, sucks for you guys.
But then you land and they're like, we want money, and then like, oh shit, gotta barter now.
Right?
Fuck.
Jake Sisko, like,
yeah, or is it just gonna be? Is it just gonna be the UK is on the pound and the rest of Europe is on the euro? It's like, well, here are my pounds.
Well,
I'm not imagining giving an item that is a pile of local currency that you get for something, like as an item that you can then trade for something.
It's like trying to like sneak your Canadian quarters in with your regular quarters.
How was
I
I
can't take that, bitch.
How was I supposed to know they wouldn't take Water Tribe money?
Yeah, right. I feel like, but then I'm also, like there are a bunch of examples too, because now I'm thinking also like in Game of Thrones, there's that too, because they have like the old money, and then you have the newer money, like the gold dragons, like from when the Targaryens were there, and then you have the updated new money, and you can use them both? ? Yeah. Like.
So the part of the question is how much we want to build in this system aspect into the world. Because if we do it like Valera doesn't use money and then you land places and they might, but that you got to deal with it. That's starting to build it into the world in a way that we have to. We got to acknowledge it a little more and address it. Whereas if we just there's money, we don't futz with it. That's taking the concept and saying, okay, and out of the way.
There is like a middle ground where some systems use kind of like Open Legend, which is a wealth level. You just have tiers of wealth, and you understand I'm wealth tier 1. I can get basic goods and services. Wealth tier 2, I can go to. I
don't think that
place,
kind
but,
of I don't think adding complexity in the mechanical sense of it is the answer I'm looking for. I'm okay with adding some complexity to the world because, setting building. But adding complexity to the system to represent that, I'm a little less into.
Yeah,
I would actually say it's removing complexity from counting gold, but still keeping gold in the world.
Well, we're not counting gold because the system doesn't have gold.
Yeah. So right now, adding anything different is still going to be complicating whatever quests establishment is.
What if everywhere else already didn't have gold, and our city had it and now is like going away from it? So when we land places, like they already worked on a barter system or on some other kind of system, and like we're just late to the party because we've been floating around doing whatever.
What if the floating city, like before this revolution, used to be kind of like more isolationist, and now that this thing has happened, people can actually go there and they've had to like open up trade essentially, or like make themselves open to the rest of the world?
I mean, there's some validity to that because before it was a war machine and now it's a trade city.
I don't know. That's a heel turn.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of okay. I don't know. It's like one of those things where, again, I'm sort of okay either way. I'm totally... I feel like it would be easiest to just be like, yeah, sure, there's money, and we just, like, hand wave it. Like, okay, you go to the market and get what you need.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, you're being offered, I don't know, money and lodging for this quest.
And I'm actually leaning that direction right now because... elite in the real world, a large, the capitalism
in the real world, capital bad.
And that when we're talking about the structuring of dysfunctional systems, I feel like removing currency, we're gonna have a really hard time. It'll remove a lot of our ability to make statements about our world, which is run by currency.
True. Plus, I mean, like, restructuring an entirely new system like that, it's an 8-episode season.
Yeah.
Also that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's like,
That's true.
That's not what I'm like, I don't want to spend my time on that.
Or we could just, we go to the market and we're done. Like, shortest shopping episode.
Then again, if there wasn't money at all, my vigilantes stealing from the rich to give to the poor doesn't mean shit anymore if there isn't money. So I kind of need there to have at least at one point been money.
But if there's still that sort of class imbalance between like more access to more luxurious things and lifestyles, then it becomes
maybe
like,
you're just stealing food.
Right? Maybe I'm not stealing gold anymore, but I'm gonna fucking break into this fucker's house and take all their goddamn truffle oil and like give it away and like this like
That's what starving people want.
I was like,
well, nobody's starving, but if it's like about genuinely trying to create some sort of equilibrium of lifestyle in this like...
I brought you saffron.
You know?
Your paella.
Sam, I think Sam makes good points here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can still sort of show that without needing to worry about coin amounts.
And we are never going to worry about coin amounts.
Yeah.
No matter what.
The less mass.
At most, it'll be here's a person. They have a lot of it, and that's the amount we need to go into coin amounts. A lot of it means that people will do what they tell them to do, more often than other people who don't have a lot of it. It doesn't need to get more descriptive than that.
Yeah. Okay, I think I vote leave money in, like everywhere. Maybe we can explore having different currencies in different places. I think that's a good, like an interesting dynamic if you leave the city. But I think it might be easier to just leave the concept of money in. Because if you think about it, just trade and barter is basically the same thing, isn't it? Like if you trading goods, money is money. Especially if you use gold coins, which is supposed to be a valuable thing.
Notably, it wouldn't even be truly a barter system. It would be a system of like you contribute to the city, so you get things, you get basic goods and services, and then this magic sword that doesn't count. No, you got to give me something for that. It gets a little weird.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there are cooler things to spend our time.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've landed up there. Okay. Moving on from that. And by the way, I have a very brief agenda here, but if there's a topic anyone you wants to bring up, please do not hesitate.
I did not prepare talking points.
I would like to propose to the committee that
I wouldn't
is
expect
science.
you to.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor that Nunu is science, raise your right hand.
All right.
Let the record show that was everybody but Nunu.
Yep. All opposed.
Well, to be fair, Nunu was holding his mic with his right hand, so
unanimous decision.
Let the record show that science does not have a vote.
That sounds counterproductive, Robert.
That sounds really counterproductive. All right, dragging us back in the direction, and I'm sorry if sometimes this process feels a little bit labored. The idea is to make a really strong foundation so we can pop off later.
Hit us.
Yeah. Safety shit, normal safety tools. I'm not going to belabor this because we've been playing together a pretty long time, except Izza, but it's working. Usual stuff. You can do the X card in chat. You can do the we can do lines and veils. I will say that I have my usual list of sexual and domestic assault is a line. Torture is a veil. Sexty stuff is a veil. Brutality to children is a veil. Brutality to animals is a veil for me. And that's a baseline because that's what we're starting with.
Right. Do we have if we don't have a lines and veils document already made?
We do have one in our Discord. It's pinned. It's been probably a while since we've updated it.
I'll revisit it.
Definitely, I don't think since Izza has joined, so we might as well just start a new one, maybe.
You can just copy. I don't know. It's in my Google Drive. I can just find it and link it. Yeah.
Sure.
And then you can add things.
Yeah, for me, all the standard ones are the ones Nat said plus racism.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mine are all those plus clowns, dolls, and mannequins.
Good to know.
Okay, and lines or veils on those guys.
God, lines. I fucking hate clowns so much, and mannequins and dolls. Okay. Anything that's it's more very humanoid of those.
That uncanny valley kind of thing.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Like BioShock wrecked me for mannequins. I just can't do it.
Okay.
At least you didn't play Condemned.
I don't know what that is, but now I know to stay away from it.
Yeah, you will die.
I do have one gore squick. The only one I have is eye gore, but considering we just said we don't want to do lethal damage unless we say so, I highly doubt we're gonna get to that. So
just add it
notably.
Just in case.
Cool.
I like my gory descriptions, so if I get an opportunity, I will leap at it.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
So that's good to know.
No eye gore, please. It's the one thing I can't stand. I'm desensitized to literally everything else.
Yeah, I mean, no ableism for me. It's the biggest thing, and no transphobia, that kind of deal. But I know that's not the kind of games that we play anyway. But
exactly.
Don't intend to get on those trains, definitely.
No, you don't. But just saying it anyway. Otherwise, I think anything else has pretty much been covered. I guess I don't know so much what the technology level for your city is. I get sort of like almost a steampunky vibe from some things, so I would say a veil for like vehicular accidents and crashes, just sort of like no graphic details. I've got very bad issues with like car accidents, so anything that's
the one area where that could come up is, so Valera doesn't properly land places. It's got this small fleet of floating gondolas that will fly people up and down. And while that's mostly a setting detail, I'll keep that in mind if crash things ever happen with those. Yeah. Within the city, there was a lot of magical assistive stuff, but not like vehicle level stuff. The city's too packed really to have vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. Just putting that out there. Because I'm so used to like very high fantasy things. As I've started playing more steampunk and modern set stuff, I'm like, oh, I should like let people know about that one.
And as for general technology level, I play very fast and loose with it. And part of this setting's goal was to let the players inflict upon the world, but like explicitly like adding lots of things because the world underneath the city is less defined intentionally. So if you want to be from a place where, like how another game in this, someone who has like these techno-magical implantations that assist with, that was where they got their power from, like their far shot eye for being a hunter, another quest game, and that's fine because the world is multifaceted, and some places will have that shit, and other places won't. That's fine. Does anyone feel like we need to be on safety tool information any more than we already have?
No, but I did link the document nat, so if you want to take that. Yeah. And so as I was saying, I divided to hard lines and lines, but you feel free to ignore that and do whatever you want with the information.
Okay.
And Robert added everyone in the Discord for the channel it's on, which is under Reference and Resources and is the Safety Tools channel.
Makes sense.
How apropos.
How
weird it would be there.
And of course, I will be checking that later because you could very reasonably have something you don't want to say out loud, despite the fact we're good friends. People have personal lives. So feel free to do things anonymously as well. Or reach out one-on-one, all that shit. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Next, I have rules and breaking them on the agenda list. So, generally speaking, we are taking the quest rule set at base level. I have 3 house rules I want to propose, and anyone else can feel free to propose as well because this isn't a dictatorship here. So the 3 I'm going to propose.
We're already married.
Nathaniel at EXE has crashed.
You said anybody can be free to propose, but I said you and Nunu are already married, so we can't do that.
My brain has connected the dots now.
Very elaborate.
I believe Megan connected the dots.
Wow, Robert.
Megan definitely assisted my brain. All right, so the first 2 are go hand in hand. I really like the tough choice result, and so I would like to expand that up to 12, but as compensation, so it's not just stacking the deck farther against the players, move the triumph from 20 to include 19 as well. How do people feel about that?
Wait, do that again?
Okay, so the normal die layout for a quest is 20 is a triumph, 11 to 19 is a full success, 6 to 10 is a tough choice, 2 to 5 is a failure, and 1 is a catastrophe. I'm proposing that 11 and 12 become tough choice, and 19 and 20 become triumph. So it just shifts the array a little bit.
I love that.
Same.
I've been playing so much PBTA, and I love tough choices. Like, it makes it so much fun. And so like narratively interesting to like instead of just being like, you fail. It's like, you can win, you can succeed if.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I
like it. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, Nat, does that also apply to my wild attack feature? Because that's the same range.
That was the other thing to consider. Is there's lots of abilities in the system that use that array, and I think if it uses the same array of numbers, it does apply. But some don't, and if they don't, we just treat those as their own thing.
Oh, some don't. Okay, I think this does, but I'll double check.
I believe Wild Attack does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's how I handle that, and most likely we'll have to say those words again later in the game, and that's okay.
Yes.
I know each of these words individually. And sometimes together.
Not often.
The other house rule also has to do with determining success, and this is for things that particularly you want the answer to be yes, you succeed, but we want to check if there's a complication. Simple as that. And that's what the D6s were in our one shot. So it's like, hey, as a group, we're sneaking across the room. Well, I want you to get across the room, but I want there to be a chance of a complication.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
like that.
very fucking basic. Roll a D6. If it's above the medium, it goes fine. If it's below, it happens, but there's a downside.
Yeah, I was into that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. I think last time I was actually running it a little ruder than that. It was like 5 and 6 is you're okay or something like that.
I don't remember.
Or I inverted it and it was like high numbers were bad. I don't quite remember.
Individual success failures too, I think, right? Rather than like a group.
Yeah, it wasn't just group
failure.
stuff. It's so I found this to be useful as like a character being like, would I know about that? And I'm like, fundamentally, I want the answer to be yes, because no is boring. But I might want there to be some twist to it. Let's find out if there is.
Right.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. It was fun.
All
Yeah,
four.
I also prefer that to just like, yeah, you fail, you don't get to do anything.
Right, or just like this happens.
Which just puts a stop on it. Yeah.
Notably, the triumphs, the 20s, there are some abilities and magic items and stuff, and some of them say when you get a triumph, and some of them say when you roll a 20. All of that now works on 19 and 20. Doesn't matter if it says 20 or if it says triumph. All of it.
Cool.
That's all I got for rules shit. Do rolling's cool, quirks are cool, talk to me. You can even do like the roll less thing if you really want to. I don't really give a shit. Make the character you want to make and have fun with it. As for making characters that you then don't like later, particularly early in the game, if you find you took an ability and you're like, wow, I just never want to use this the way this character's developing, I just talk to me and I'll most likely be like, yep, just pick something new. I don't give a fuck about making my friends use things that they don't want to have. The point is to have fun here, or be engaging if you want to use the designer speak. If you don't like it anymore, get something new.
Cool.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I like the cut of your jib.
Right. And then it's the part where I like, does anyone else have anything to say about rules shit?
I don't know the rules well enough to have anything to say about
Same.
There are really very
Talk to me
few.
later about it.
Yeah, I think I'm good with everything we've said so far, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Okay, so now we are getting approaching the point where I actually start acknowledging you have characters in mind, but not quite yet. So this is the part where I make you guys work for me. So now we have to develop a conceit, a bond for the party. So this is something that, hello camera, connects all of you to each other and to the city. This would be like you're related, you are in a club together, you own a business together, something, you are just like, you live nearby, you're in the same apartment complex. I don't give a fuck.
Quintuplets.
It can be lots of different things. And actually, I've given you lots of examples because now I'm going to walk away for a few minutes and we're all going to individually come up with one to pitch to the group.
Oh no. Wait,
Oh
what?
God.
This.
No, panic.
And don't talk to each other because the point is to get divergent ideas, not convergent ideas.
Oh no.
Okay.
All right, so I guess are we taking a break? Stretch break? Stretch
Yeah,
thinking break?
we're, exactly.
Okay.
All right, I'm into it.
I consider right.
And we're set.
Cool.
Damn.
Now we're
Hello.
big.
So
Good to go.
we are back from a break that I swear was only 5 minutes. I promise.
Totally.
You'll never know.
Was it even that long?
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
think
it was-
it. Yeah.
We actually just turned off the thing and turned it back on.
Back on.
It's like a restart. And now people have bond pitches. And I want to stress here, it's not about having the best one. It's about generating divergent ideas and then finding the one that, because most likely there'll be one or two that were like, oh, that's good shit. And then we'll like, and it's not a competition. So with those words started, would anybody like to begin?
I'll go first. So
Otherwise, I will roll a d10.
Because then I'll be done. If I go first.
Sure.
But of course,
That's it.
the one that I had would take some massaging to get Ro into it, but I feel like we could.
I believe in us.
And that is that we all met in jail. Or
Nice.
some form of, because I mean, if there was just a revolution,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that a lot of us are like fighty, freedom fighty type things. Like if we all were in some kind of not even jail, but we were all like
Detained.
detained
That makes
together
sense.
in some way.
I mean, honestly, I could see how we could at least get Ro into that position because they are still a young child unsupervised for the very first time in a large city. So even just so much as like whatever lawkeepers being like, this child needs to come to the station until we find their fucking parents. Like that could be enough to get us in the
And we're
same
like, small
place.
child, please take the key out of the desk and bring it over here and unlock this cell.
Yeah, Ro's how you break out because Ro can sit through the bars.
Honestly.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, all right.
So to massage that concept a little bit, because a little discussion is fun. It's the idea. The idea could be that you were all imprisoned by the Baron's rule, and then the shift in power meant you got released, which also ties your bond to the city.
Ooh.
Also, he is still kind of evil, so maybe they just throw 12-year-olds in jail because they're bad people.
Yeah.
We don't have to iron anything out unless that's what we land on, but just talking about concepts and options.
Mhm.
Cool.
That was my homework. Now I'm gonna mute myself. and
That
listen
was
to
my
everybody else's
homework.
ideas. My
Would
homework
anyone else
by
like to go
Megan.
next? Otherwise it's Robert, because he's next on my Zoom menu.
Fine.
Robert's like, please somebody go.
So we all met in a giant's house.
You have been
Wait,
eliminated from the race.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna have to fight you. Yeah, no, man, like I'm a doctor, and so like just like I know a lot of people, and so maybe you all met in the waiting room of my doctor's office. 'Cause I have no clue what else.
Oh my god, now I wish you did keep Godot as the name.
Oh, that's a high level meme. That's an elder meme right there.
Do not quote the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was forged. Elder meme.
Wait.
One meme.
So to expound on that concept a little bit, the idea of bonding over some sort of medical situation isn't horrible. It could be like you all got sick and got better together. Maybe it was something employed.
I will say my character would very much be healing people after a war if anybody's sick or injured and stuff like that. So there's that very possibility that you met in infirmary kind of a thing, and one of the people taking care would be the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, I can see Paris arriving in the city with injuries, because she's obviously not from the city originally. But she could definitely have arrived in the city with injuries.
And to elucidate a point here, these are grand, but notably, these are also concepts of how we met. And that's not all this needs to be. It can also be, and here's our relationship to each other currently as well. Mm-hmm. Both are valid. Okay. We have Iza, Zake, and Ro remaining.
I had two sort of
show off.
Two very different ones.
Just do two. There's no rules here.
One was that we met at a political rally, and one was that we met at a street party or a festival. Because I thought we should have a nice one too, because they're all going to be bleak and miserable otherwise. By our own doing, but
All right.
Fun.
Who's there?
I'll go, I guess. So, because I know we were talking a lot about, like, playing with the idea of maybe trying to break down some, issue within this new system. Like, it would take sort of, work to figure things out together, but I feel like it would be probably possible for maybe somehow we all found, like, clues or something that lead us to, like, the same potential, like, problematic, I don't know, council member or however the hell the city is being run now. So, like, sort of that bond to us is, like, maybe we all fucking hate that same person or have some sort of connection, whether it's positive or negative, but, like, maybe we just all sort of stumbled into each other trying to find the same person or something like that.
Bound around a cause to address.
Sure, yeah, that's a cleaner way to put it.
This is also not just me trying to clean up, this is me trying to make sure I understand you.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think so.
Cool. Well, I will say that an inordinate
Yes.
Percentage of my communications are me being like, I understand that correctly, correct? Like that, I do that a lot.
No, that's
a good thing to do, though.
Yeah.
All right. And
Gosies?
The Charm Blade.
Okay, so hear me out. There was this big ass revolution, right? The person in play was overthrown, whatever. Bye bye, goodbye, good riddance. And then there needs to be a new system in place, especially if the communities were like very dissonant from each other inside the city. There would need to be some kind of sense of union, right? And I feel like these groups could have been created where people that fought for the freedom of the city could almost take like care or like tell people what's going to change and what not, and be like the leading figures of different segments of the city. And our characters could have been grouped and lumped together in the same segment. And this would also give us like flexibility to be like, oh, I was fighting in a revolution, so I'm actually one of the lead figures, or I just arrived and I got put in this sector or whatever. And I think it could lead to several different backstories as well.
I find that interesting. So it's partially a grouping within the city for organizational purposes. This is a kind of a corollary of the you all live in the same apartment complex concept, but then also with some duties or responsibilities attached as well.
Yeah, and political implication as well and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't have a good way to succinctly say that, so I'm gonna write that down as Nunu's one. I like it though. That's not belittling it. It's just defies quantification.
Nunu's one.
Science is difficult to understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Science is hard to truncate
Some science.
and make succinct.
It is actually very complicated. To make succinct, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a whole profession, multiple of them around that.
Mm-hmm.
Taking complex science and making it digestible.
It's a nightmare.
That's why.
We study those people in communication.
Yeah.
And we're like, this job's really hard. We don't do that. That's their job, but it's still a really hard job.
It is.
Right.
What's the name? There's a name for that, but I forgot.
Nunu's thing.
Nunu's.
Everything I can no longer succinctly title is just gonna be called Nunu's thing.
Sure.
And I'm gonna add one because I like to add one after everyone's talked, so I can maybe see a potential gap concept. And you could be semi-explicitly a group of people ordained by the system for self-evaluation. So particularly they go, hey, we're gonna fuck up sometimes, and your job is to find the fuck-ups and address them.
For quality control?
Yeah, is it quality? Are we the
You
ones
are
that are trying
done
to
that
find
job
the glitches?
before.
I'm trying to find the glitches in the video games.
Just all the
Been
auditors
there.
of the place.
Yeah, we're beta testing.
The QA testers.
Yeah. And that is just a suggestion like all the other ones. It has no more weight because it came out of my mouth. Because this is a collaborative endeavor.
Hey.
All right, so we have met in jail, met in recovery, a political rally or a festival. All of those are meeting places. We have bound around a cause, which was Sam's concept of we all came to this place through our own individual interest and then found each other. You know, it's kind of the internet message board concept. We all found each other because we're addressing the same topic. We have Nunu's concept of being a political subdivision within the city. Grouped together, which would chuck the characters together, but then also by self-definition bind you to the city. And then we have internal affairs adventuring party.
And for that one, every time we need to send in a report, we just send Nunu's character away to bring it to the.
We don't have emails
All right.
yet, so
We have created a reason why Nunu's character
Yeah.
keeps disappearing.
Exactly.
He's just bringing
It is
the
All
magic.
bureaucracy.
And it's magic and bullshit, so
Yeah. All right, so we have a list of 7. And this is always I have no good way of being like straw poll on Zoom, but basically we had to suss out the options here.
Yeah.
And the way I've done that in the past was everyone just list up to 2 you like and throw it in the Zoom chat. And then I'll look at them and be like, numbers.
Could you
wanna-
type all of them out into the Zoom chat because I will forget like half of them.
You wanna just chuck them on Discord because you can just use
you
the
can
bot.
use the poll thing.
Oh yeah.
That's probably better. Excuse me for a moment while I do that. Democracy
Nat,
Zone,
it's
where
yes.
art thou?
And yes,
Yes, and.
Yes.
and let me do that.
yes,
Thank
Are you doing it, Robert, or am I doing it?
No.
Robert was just chatting shit. You do it.
This is your job, sir.
I did this to myself. Brackets.
You're a bracket. Where is?
Just call me a bracket.
Why are
How
you
dare you.
yelling? Why are you yelling?
God,
Show
children.
us the pet.
Yeah, she
When I
started
show
yelling
up,
at
finally
me.
not yelling.
Show the pet. Show the pet.
Oh,
Yay.
they're cute.
Hello.
No, baby.
They're right there. Oh no, she doesn't want to be held.
She's like, no,
Doesn't care.
I don't want this. Leave me alone.
I think she wants to leave the room. Hold on.
Never mind. I have a download code of.
No, just a wave of hot air came in as I opened that door.
Ugh.
I got hit by the Sahara.
I got the opposite because this room is usually the hottest room, which is why I've been like keeping the door open lately. So like anytime I walk past the bedroom, we just have like a sheet over the door to hold the air conditioner in, but the animals can still come and go.
Been there.
And, like,
Did that work?
blows open like every so often. You just get like a nice little like gust of cold.
Nope.
Someone tell me what I did wrong.
Let's find out. Is that a thing?
Is the bot just off?
Oh, maybe it's just off.
We can still see the things you typed, though.
The bot is off, yeah. Never mind.
Bot died.
Well, at least you typed it, so there you go.
Yeah, we can still see it.
I just love Nunu's one. Because it's called Nunu's one.
I love them all for like different reasons.
I'm adding reactions.
Which one's which though?
I assume it's just in the order that they're listed.
You can just,
you can edit it and number them if we were, but yeah, they're just.
I will.
You can even do the even sexier thing and add. Oh my god! Hit enter, shift enter, whatever. I can't think of the word.
Be better, Robert.
Be better.
Sorry, the problem I have the word indentation in my head, and that's screwing me from saying what I actually mean.
Make words with your brain and mouth.
I love you, Robert.
I don't know. I forgot. I don't know life anymore.
Oh, look, now it says Robert behind you. Before it said Roland.
Roland.
No, my favorite is this one. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Yeah.
Robe.
Yep. Because that's what I'm wearing in my character.
Nice.
It is cool, though, to have all of your character arts there. It's pretty dope.
I just did that for fun.
Okay, and you want us to vote for Tunit?
Up to 2.
See, I like 3 of them.
Nunu's one. I just love that so much.
Right, I want to vote for it just for that.
I want to vote for it.
I think it's also
hard.
a pretty decent idea.
It is a good idea.
No,
it is a good idea. Yeah, it's hard.
But the name itself is just definitely great.
Fuck's sake.
I like internal affairs .quest as well.
You can't just vote for mine. That makes me look like I'm cheating. Honestly, there are no rules here, Megan.
Ha! Then I'm not going to tell anybody. I voted for all of them.
Wait, there's no rules? Okay.
Thanks, Robert. That helps.
I mean, if you're legit into all of them, that's fine.
No,
the highest number will shake out one way or the other.
I felt strongly about 3, so I voted for 3 of them.
Same.
Okay. I really like.
What? Who is shuffling these numbers? I'm just watching the numbers go up and down. Like, what is happening?
Intense. What is happening?
This has got to be excellent content.
I know.
Okay, I'm voting for 3 as well.
We should all do that silly thing that they do when they're recording podcasts and stuff, and we all just clap when we got back to interesting stuff.
I feel like Nunu's one is gonna win.
It looks like Nunu's one's gonna win.
Well, I have to be the chaos in the machine.
Oh,
Fuck's sake.
Why you do?
All right. If you're done,
I'm the chaos.
raise a hand. Cool.
We are all gremlins.
Now I'm going to investigate slightly.
And see who voted for what.
And see what actually.
Well, because I want to make sure that because these have different vibes and stuff.
We vibing? Vibe check.
You vibing, bro?
Vibe check.
Yeah.
Roll the vibe.
Vibe check. Thank God. I just want a 1-page RPG called Vibe Check. I'll figure out the rest of it later.
That's all you need. You have one stat. Vibe.
No, you have two
Surely
stats.
you also have a
Vibe
check
and
stat.
check.
Yeah,
Vibe and
Vibe and check.
And then you check for check.
Check, yeah, you check for check. Then you
vibe for vibe.
It's very self-explanatory. Like
Vibe for vibe.
Honestly,
She's,
vibe check is just my name for like the detect magic and identify spells in D&D.
Sure.
They are the vibe check spells.
I love it.
All right. So, and this is the part where I go through a slight amount of, because this isn't, we voted, but it's not, it purely is to vote. I want to also make sure that of 7, which is in internal affairs, 1, which is met in jail, and 6, which is Nunu's one, that I want to go over each of those and just ask if anyone has any strong opposition to them, because that's also important. Being neutral is different than being opposed.
Yeah.
So,
True.
for number 7, where you are a group specifically delineated to self-evaluate the system, does anyone? I know Nunu, Megan, and Robert voted for them, and I because of the format of this, I didn't actually end up voting. Does any of the remaining, which is Sam and Izza, have opposition to that one?
I just
It's okay
felt
if you
as
do.
though it wouldn't really make sense for Faris to have been chosen as that kind of person. Just that's. I mean, I'm sure I could figure out a reason why and make it work if that was where everyone else wanted to go. But like, yeah, I just couldn't think of a reason why she would be appointed.
External examiner.
Yeah.
I mean, also, your character can have imposter syndrome too. It's okay.
No, too real.
Two.
All right. So number 1 with jail, the people who did not vote for that were Nunu and Izza. Is anyone strongly opposed to that one?
Nope.
Once again, okay, if you do.
The only reasoning I had not voting for that one was, like, given the situation Faris has just left, I was like, would she go somewhere and then immediately get herself, like, in trouble again?
Well, keep in mind, if it was the old shitty regime, it's not necessarily that Faris did anything truly wrong.
Yeah, true. And also, I can think of reasons why, like, rather than escaping to the city, she was, like, sent there to prison. Like, could also work, maybe. I guess.
That's an option. And now, somehow, it's become home? Question mark? All right. And then number 6, which is Nunu's political division. Sam was the one who didn't vote for that one. Sam, how are you sitting?
No, it's fine.
I know. Sam, you and I have the same
opposition.
agreeable.life philosophy with these things.
Happy to be here, y'all.
Listen. Right, I voted for all 3, so I strongly oppose them all.
Thanks, Robert.
Naturally.
Robert, please die.
Wow.
Whoa.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I get it. I got a few.
All right.
Wow.
I see what you did. There.
Get out of my game.
Go sit over there.
Think about what you've done.
Now is the part where we ask if we can combine any of these that we like.
All of them.
All of them.
You were brought forth to jail to then do things.
I mean, we were political prisoners in jail, and then when the regime changed over,
the enemy of mine enemy.
Just work.
Like, that kind of makes sense. If we could be in jail for opposing the regime, and that's why we were known, and suddenly they ask us to do shit because we were known for opposing the previous regime. I don't know.
Or you were just in jail when they did the delineation, so you ended up getting chucked together because technically you lived together.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on like a technicality.
Yeah.
Here's what happens when 5 strangers are forced to live in an apartment and have their lives taped. Can we do the real world story?
Real world Valorant.
Oh my god.
Can we just do that every episode?
Find out when things stop being fake and start being real.
All of our recaps are just like you're in the room having like that camera.
Just confessional style.
Oh
like,
my
so
god.
here's what happened last time.
I think we broke
And
Nat.
kind of like that could be a recap style. Like every time it's Nat interrogating one of the characters about what happened.
Like beginning of Dragon Age 2. Love that. I'm sorry I made this a shitpost.
So I know we laughed at that a lot, but I kind of like the combination of jail into Nunu's idea.
Yeah. I can totally make that work for Faris. I've just thought of something I'll message you about later.
Cool. So if
this is actually
that,
the bad
I don't
guy.
feel a need to vote again.
No, I think that's great.
No, that's.
All right.
Can we add the
Also, I
real
don't
world?
want to vote again.
The real world.
You have no idea after hearing that how much I want to play a TTRPG real world.
So we were in
Oh my
jail
God,
and
so
we're
much.
roomies now, pretty much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
You got assigned.
Logic.
I just deleted some reactions, I think, on accident.
Oh no! Yes, you did.
Just one
What-
day.
It,
Whatever.
it doesn't
We already
matter.
figured it
We
out.
know how we
It's
voted.
history now.
Yes, we are moving on to the future, where we
Okay.
are all the real world.
All right.
Oh.
So yeah.
Ro is the worst roommate, y'all.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's always like fair. I can just see Ferris is like, who didn't do the dishes again?
Could it be the child that literally is like trailing mud around the apartment?
Yeah, is it
Okay,
literally
so-
the feral child?
Bro,
I
do
live
you
in the
have
garbage
an animal?
outside.
Bro, do you have like a wolf companion with you from the forest?
Oh man, I mean, not like mechanically or anything.
But if it's just like acts as the group dog, like that's not an animal companion.
Oh my
puppers.
god, we do now, yes.
Yes, please.
Hell yeah.
What's the pupper's
And
name?
its name is Ruck.
I mean,
So
somebody
is
has
it
to-
like the little one that had bonded with you, so when you left it just followed you?
I'm here for it.
Be like, who's this? This is my sister. That's a wolf.
This is my
Actually, yeah. No, that just makes sense.
Yes! That's
This is
exactly
is
what they
fantastic.
say!
This is my. This is
Who
my
put the
sister.
wolf in jail?
No, the wolf found her. The wolf found Ro. Oh no.
Also, you realize this now means we can do our incredibly fun idea of Ro acting like an adult by being like a wolf with Ro sat on top.
Oh
in a
my
trench
god,
coat.
yes!
Yeah, we can do it now.
Yes!
We can do it.
That's like
I think
put
in
in
An
that-
adult.
Yeah. I am an adult.
People tell me that all the time.
Oh my god. I love
Okay. So now we have an idea that is
We have
making
Ro
us
and their
giggle,
sister.
which was kind of the goal.
Why are we a sitcom now? I love it.
Now
It's a
we're
very
script-
sad
now we're a
sitcom,
s-
though.
Now we're a
Oh.
scripted, real world esque sitcom.
But with
Every
a
time
sad
someone says-
tone.
No, every time
With
someone
overall
says something stupid, I literally just go like this.
You know, it's not
How
breaking.
do you
the
do that
fourth
so well,
wall.
Nunu? Okay, you know I like to slip in fourth wall break.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, I'm just
Safety
an NPC,
over.
man.
No,
Zeke
yeah,
is the
yeah.
only
Yeah, we
one
do it
who
this
knows we're in like a show.
Yeah, but if we're in a show, you're never like that. You're never really breaking the fourth wall.
Megan, it kind of makes sense with my character, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's
Oh, you guys have secrets.
But we're not in a show
Aww.
Alright.
in
Wait.
canon.
I mean, they're not secret
That
secrets. We can
doesn't mean
talk
you can't
about
break the
them.
fourth wall.
Is this a show?
Oh, we
I think
need
this
an
is a show.
Ember
I
Island
think this is a
episode
show.
now.
Oh, the Ember Iron players.
Oh, we need.
That's
a,
we only have
need a
8
bottle-
episodes.
I was say we need a.
Bam, we
bottle
only have 8
episode.
episodes.
So one has to be an Ember Islands players style episode, and one has to be a festival episode.
Season
Um,
2.
The bottle
Yeah,
episode
six
is
episodes.
episode
Bottle
1
episode.
in the jail.
Yep,
So-
we need a bottle episode.
So whose
So you're
identical
prob-
sister is
that's
going
got-
to play the main character?
That's
And
gotta
what's the
start,
paintball episode?
but it needs to start with. I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me find a record scratch sound.
So this is where we flash back, right? Are we flashing
Yep.
back now? This is
we
where we
flash
flash
back.
back.
Yeah, I think believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we move back around.
Ned, aren't you glad you offered to run this game for us?
Yes, actually. This is excellent.
All right,
There
all
are
right, all right. Let's move on.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
But
So,
we're doing a paintball episode, right?
I
Oh, yeah.
hope
No.
so.
We're going to invent paintball.
Just because you are a community doesn't mean that this is community. Now stop with the memes so I can move on to the next agenda item.
Stop shitposting.
Well, actually, your shitposting has already completed the next agenda item because now it's putting it all together. Because now we have our characters and you're starting to concede of how this actually fits together functionally. And we kind of already did that. Is there any other details that we feel like individual characters need to address to find themselves there? Also, Zake, you're cursed now, apparently.
Yes. Yeah.
I say Zake is there because he has no choice because I am there.
Exactly.
How long, I guess, like, were we in jail for, and how long are we living together now?
I like the idea of it being like differing lengths of time that we were in jail. Like some of us were in jail for a little longer.
So how long has Lena been in jail? Is it Lena?
Lena.
Which
is confusing because her name is Madalena. No, yeah, Madalena.
Makes sense.
Lena.
Madalena. It's all
like,
sports.
Yeah, Madalena. It's like Magdalena, but without a G. Because I like Gallivant. And I know what I'm about. I wouldn't be surprised if she's been there the longest, because she was a vigilante anyway, and then shit happened and she went a little off the rails. Well, shit happened. She was like, I'm going clean, no more vigilante, I'm just gonna be a good person. And then shit went south, and then she went souther. So I maybe not like an extraordinary, like how long in general, Nat, as the keeper of this lore, like how long did this revolution last?
Not in charge here.
Yeah, Megan, how long did this revolution last?
Don't.
No. Megan's not the person to throw that on. No, how long's revolution last?
That's true.
3 years and a half.
Oh.
Okay.
3.5 years. Look, we just did it.
Boom.
Everything is primordial ooze until someone says something.
All right, so I think I want her to have been alone in this jail, just thinking about what she did for 6 months before anybody else showed up.
Aww.
Well, I mean, she had Zeke too, intermittently.
Yeah.
When he existed on this plane of existence.
Yeah.
Because he lives in my magic. Because he lives in my necklace.
That's amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah, I wear his Pokeball around my neck.
Aww.
I choose you. Sick.
So I think I want her to have been alone for 6 months before anybody else showed up. So depending on how long everybody else was there will determine the full length of how long she was there. But she did work for somebody that was in a place of power while she was vigilanteing. So that probably would have come to an end regardless of what happened to her employer before she got jailed.
Oh, that's an important question. That I'll foreshadow now. Going to ask people where they're from. And you can be from Valerith itself, which carries some revolutionary baggage, or you can not be, which is also fine. But in the latter case, I'm going to ask you where you are from. Ow, fuck. Ooh, muscle spasm. I'm okay. Ish. But if you have to, I will ask you where you are from, and you will inflict it upon the world.
Inflict it.
Wow, when you put it like that. Do you want me to answer that now, or are we going around with the jail question?
Though still knitting together the jail, that's
Perfect.
the next agenda item. It is inflict! !
Great.
Nice.
All right. So, Lena. Just getting it in my brain. Lena. Because I see that, and my brain wants it to be the other way.
Lena,
Yeah. So there's about 6 months by themselves, and then maybe some time on the end. Who does anyone feel like they're probably in jail a particularly short period of time?
Probably Ro.
Yeah, that would be really sad if
that feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That feels accurate. And it can be more than one person. So, Ro, maybe you were in there for like a few days at the end.
Yeah, probably.
Falwyn, what about you?
Yes. The way I see it, the doctor was in there. Well, he hasn't really kept track exactly how long, because he just keeps going back in and then out. Because like they keep putting him in jail for healing people that are against them, because he's like, hey, I'm a doctor without borders. And he goes to like, he's like, yeah, listen, I do no harm. I heal everyone. But then they like let him out because he's really good at healing. So they're like, okay, well, but
then they pull you out to heal our people.
Yeah, and then when they find out I've healed one of the other people again, they throw me back in. So that's kind of like what I'm.
So you're a frequent flyer, but not for the usual reasons.
Yes.
Nice.
I like that. What about Faris and Zake? No, Zake, we know the answer to. Because
no choice.
I love the idea of like whoever's keeping guard just being like, why are you just here sometimes and not other times? Or maybe you hide. Maybe that you always hide him.
Yeah,
so that the necklace doesn't get confiscated.
I mean, even if they were to like
That's
take
pretty
him and put him
funny.
in another cell, he would still.
Oh my
when
god.
he's zapped out of existence, would
Yeah,
still
would just-
zap.
Do we
poof out
like
and poof
still
in.
have to hide him when they come around to check and like make sure people are living where they're supposed to be living and like where we're all assigned?
God, is this like when you have a cat in college and cats aren't around?
Yeah, you have to like hide him from the
RA.
RA.
Inspections?
But then Rolf has a.
Oh shit, we
Rolf-
can't have a
Rolf is
guest for
fucking
more than
wolf.
2 nights in a row, guys.
All right, so that leaves Faris.
So for Faris, I feel like this kind of ties into the next point about like where you're from. So my original idea is that Faris is not from the Flying City, it's from this other place. So I'm
Encouraged.
thinking that the reason she could be in prison in, I keep forgetting the name of the actual name of the city. Was it Valerith or something?
Valerith.
Like the reason she could be there is that the thing that got her in trouble in her home city was uncovering some kind of connection that like important people who are corrupt in her city had to the unfavorable side of the revolution here, and that got her in like a huge amount of trouble, and so they like shipped her off to this city, to Valerith. Or I could just like can the whole thing and have her be from Valerith, which might cut out some fat, but yeah.
I think you got good shit on your backstory of where you're from, and that's encouraged too, because it adds, it flushes out the world in a way that then we can use in our game. So I encourage you to be from elsewhere.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the likely reason she is there is that whatever thing she saw that she wasn't supposed to see or thing she did that she wasn't supposed to do is connected to some kind of conspiracy that's like connecting the leaders of that city to the leaders of Valerith, and they did not like that she found that out, but couldn't like outright kill her, so they sent her off to prison in Valerith. So maybe she was in prison for a while, not as long as Lena, but a couple years or something, or a year or something like that maybe.
I mean, or maybe they shipped you off and then shit went down. And, when the point where the jail cells are getting broken open is a pretty late stage as far as violent part of the revolution goes. It's in my head. I've never
Could have been like a prisoner transfer at some point too, like could have only been in Valerith's jail not that long, but
yeah, she could have been there for any length of time really, but it's more like the reasoning of like why she's there.
Another corollary option, and it just comes to my head, feel free to reject this, would be that you uncovered some sort of connection, and then when they banished you or exiled you, whatever verb they use, you went there to go continue digging, and
then got caught.
And then in your digging, they're like, "Stop it, jail."
You got caught twice. That could work too. Yeah.
Just an idea.
Yeah, either of those would work. I need to like think about them a little bit more, but yeah, definitely either of those are like good reasons why she would be there.
And then when the things do start breaking open and shit, they categorize the political, the civic subgroups based on cohabitation, and y'all are in the same fucking cell or maybe block. I don't know how many people. In my head, it was like overcrowding, so like this cell became a block and that cell became a block because by the end of it, they were just chucking tons of people in.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's pretty much kind of what I was picturing too.
Yeah.
So.
Same. And then Zake was like just there the day they counted, so he got a spot. Zake has an actual dwelling, despite the fact that he exists a third of the time.
That's amazing.
Hey, you know what that means? Lena gets double the space two-thirds of the time.
Hey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Rose's sister probably sleeps on his bed when he's not here.
Yeah. Sometimes
you don't have any
bedroom,
allergies.
sometimes it's the gym / storage room /
Right.
But if there's a particularly long period between Zake appearing, like you'll come back to find like crap piled up all over your bed and shit. You're just like
an injured person sleeping in your bed.
Like, you can't call top bunk. You don't exist most of the time. I want top bunk.
Go back in your Pokeball.
all right. So I think we've kind of stitched that together pretty solidly. So the last item on my agenda is inflict. So that has two subcomponents. First of all, let's go around and actually formally introduce our characters in their current state. And I know we know most of these characters from before. But, you know, I admit I am a little bit of a slave to procedure because of how my brain works. So some of these I'm making it work, and I'm sorry if they're getting friction in some places. And then I'm going to ask about where you're from and ask you to inflict upon the world a little bit. But before we do that, I desperately need to take a very quick bio. Sorry.
Honestly, I could do the same.
Alrighty.
I've been drinking a lot of water.
Let's do. It's like
Hydrate.
boiling hot today,
Yeah,
and I
same.
chose to wear a suit jacket, which was a mistake. So I've been chugging water.
My character this time does not wear a wig.
Excellent. Look at you.
Nice.
Smarty smart.
But now you have to bring a wolf in every single session.
Yeah, now where are you going to get a wolf?
Yeah, we're
Always supporting.
But, you know, here's the big question. Would Ro, as Malakar,
Okay.
turn into a Squeezle, beat Dark Squeezle?
Dark Steezel? Nope.
Nope.
That's not anything.
Dark Squeezel.
Yeah.
Dark Squeezel.
Is it Darth Squeezel?
Darth Squeezel. There we go.
Nice.
No, yep. Well, that's what it is now. All right.
This
All
just
right.
spiraled.
And now we'll get back into back into it for reals. Time
Yes,
to
let's-
Are we-
inflict.
Yes, we are on the bullet point, the last bullet point, which is inflict. So you're going to tell us
I
who
have
you are,
knocks.
and I think I'm gonna go through all the characters first, and then go through the inflictions. And I'm gonna tell you when you're inflicting upon the world,
Sounds so
you
metal.
can be pretty broad strokes. If you go too far, I will just be like, adjust it slightly, and we'll keep moving. Don't feel aim bigger, not more minor. If that's what you're wanting, don't feel like you need to be meek about it.
All
the
cows
main
are
thing
birds, all
looking
birds are
for-
cows.
Oh my god! No, act like that never happened.
Continue.
I feel like we're in
Struck from
a.
history.
I feel like we're
All
just
right.
in a pre-production
I know,
fix that in
I'm
post.
of
leaving
Avatar.
that. I'm leaving that in post.
That really just
Instead of
feels like
Sam's
the
like, I
writers
will
of
fix it in-
Avatar right there.
No,
All right.
Sam's like, I will fix that in post by leaving it exactly where
I
it
just tack it on to like.
So we're going through these when designing something to add to the world. You don't need to add too much. Don't feel like, oh, I need to come up with a compelling name and concept. Very bare bones details is enough because I can flesh it out. But also, do not hesitate to give more. The main thing I'm looking, if you're adding a place to, if you're from Valerith, add something to Valerith. If you're not, add something to the world outside it. And the main thing we're looking for is just something interesting enough that I can use it, potentially. One little hook, one little detail, that's all that's really needed. Go bigger if you want. And because I keep making Megan start things, I'm gonna just tell Nuna to go.
Ooh.
Introduce your character.
Ooh.
Character.
Inflictions
yeah.
are not yet, that is later.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have the little quest sheet thing, so I'm just gonna read that because it's much easier, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Hello. I didn't think of an accent or voice yet, so it's just gonna be me for now.
Me neither.
I wonder why not. Hello, my name is Zake Sarkar or Shrike. He, they. I'm 28 years old and stands 1 meter 80 tall. I'm the party's charm blade. When people see me, they first notice my double ringed blue eyes, blue highlighted hair, and melancholic stare. I wear plated leather armor, half cape, and a face mask, and move with unparalleled confident finesse. I'm from a poor district of Valerith, if we want to go with like power struggles.
So
yeah,
the to give some to that, the gondolas that go out and fly back and forth, those are actually based out of the hangs, which is the section that hangs underneath Valerith, which is where most of the moving of stuff goes, and also where some of the studio things happen because it's a little out of the way. Also very windy.
Okay, I am from the hangs in Valerith. There you go. Where my people are known for compassion, empathy, caring for each other, and traditional blade weaving techniques.
Ooh.
I believe in those who fight for equality, but my nihilism and conformist side can get in my way. I dream of a day when I can stop involuntarily hopping between worlds. Whatever world takes me is not the issue. Just want to stop. And then I carry, well, that's the equipment, doesn't really matter. A broad-bladed scimitar, and that's all I'm at now.
Sounds great. So just to elucidate a little bit more, what have you figured out about this curse necklace thing? What exactly is the dynamic?
Yes. So the
There.
thing, so Megan, I don't know if you want to chime in, but correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing is, back before, I guess it was during the revolution, right? Both
Yeah,
Megan's
yeah.
character, and Zake were working together at that point, and they did a job where things went south. And was it a wizard we settled on?
Yeah, we were trying to steal some shit from a wizard.
Always a wizard.
Like you do.
Wizard didn't like that.
Malachar.
Yeah, Malachar didn't like that. And then whatever, either the wizard or the protections the wizard had in place started trying to sucking us in to a different world. And Zeke was completely drawn into this different world, and Lena lost her arm to the same effect.
I managed to get most of me out of the magic circle.
Yeah.
So.
But because Lena wasn't completely sucked in, before escaping, Zeke was able to latch on to the nearest thing, and that was the necklace that Lena was using that night. Boom. So now what happens is, in times when the barrier between these two worlds, I have no idea what the other world is, Nat, we can talk about it as well. When the barrier between these two worlds is thin enough, Zeke can cross over to where he last latched onto, which is the necklace. So wherever Lena is with the necklace. That's it.
Ooh.
I think that's it, Megan, right?
Yeah, that's what we had come up with.
And since we got a little foreshadowing on Lena, why don't we jump into that character?
Dun, dun.
Oh, hi. Yes. So hi. My name is Madalena, or Lena Elliott, also known as the Magpie. She, her. I'm 24 years old and stand 5'3" tall. I'm the party's spy. When people see me, they first notice my willowy frame, freckled cheeks, and mechanical arm. I wear simple, sturdy clothes, an enchanted necklace, and move with a confident step. I am from Valorith. Sorry, I have a bug. I'm from Valorith. And this part, based on what we've talked about with the revolution, can change, but I had put where my people are known for the steady pursuit of greed and pleasure. I believe in honor, but my vengeful and foolhardy side can get in the way. I dream of avenging my lady's death and finding happiness.
Do you... I want to tip my hand. So I knew you had a bit of a story earlier about where you come from, so I was actually kind of building into that, with that not being Valorith.
Oh.
Fun fact. But I can readjust if that's where your heart lies.
I mean, it just made sense, but it could be somewhere else if you wanted it to be. Like, I don't know what so like all that I had determined as far as like her backstory is like she worked for a noble or rich person, whatever it is, who was murdered by somebody pretending to be her vigilante alter ego. So she's trying to find who killed her.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't work in the scope of what Valorith is like doing, then we can make it somewhere else.
It does. So my concept, and once again, all this is optional, is that you're tracking after this person who's impersonated you, and that led you here. But where it happened is elsewhere.
That's interesting. The only thing being that would just affect Zake's deal too, because we had been working together prior to Employer being killed. Like that happened post necklacing, because my rich employer is the one that financed my fancy robot arm.
Which could be fine. Could just move my...
Yeah, we could just be another city.
To another city.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, because Zeke at the moment doesn't have any choice where to go. Just pops up wherever Lena is.
Yeah, Zeke might strongly disagree with Lena chasing after this person.
Exactly.
We have established that Zeke does disagree with a lot of things that Lena does.
Hey!
Because Lena is the one that's just like, I know I can do it, so who cares how dangerous it is? And Zake's like, can we fucking pump the brakes for a second, please?
Oh, look, you gotta go now. Bye.
Oh no.
Oh no, the barrier.
Oh no, you're fading away. See you whenever.
Either way, although like I can rebuild in a different direction, but I was planning on using that place of the from as an element. And
no, we can we can definitely do that. That's totally fine.
Okay.
So is this like
it also solves the problem of the Mad Libs being currently inaccurate if you're from Valerith or not.
That's true. So it's like we're from this other city, and then it's like Lena comes to Valerith, trying to find the person who killed her lady, and then immediately gets thrown in jail for doing something probably just very foolhardy and stupid.
Sounds about right.
Accusing the wrong person of murdering somebody will probably get you thrown into jail.
Or even accusing the right person of murdering somebody, depending on the place.
Fair.
So she no longer. She still has she obviously still has the outfit from when she was the magpie, but she hasn't been the magpie, especially since the magpie is now wanted for murder in the city that she is from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now she's just trying to just be, just trying to be a normal girl with a robot arm, trying to avenge the person who killed the woman she loved. It's totally normal. These things happen.
All right.
With her old vigilante partner living in between worlds in her necklace, normal.
Like you do.
Stuff. Normal stuff.
All right. We're gonna keep the parade moving on to Sam.
Okay. So just the intro for now, right?
Yar.
All right. I'll just read my Mad Libs. Is that what we're doing?
Yerp.
Hi, my name is Ro. I use they, them pronouns. I'm about 12 or 13 years old, and I stand 4'7" tall. I'm the party's naturalist. When people see me, they first notice my wild hair, dirty clothing, and bright green eyes, and I wear a wolf fur cloak, oversized red tunic, and move with an excited energy. I'm from a deep dark forest where my people are known for protecting travelers from bandits and stuff. I believe in helping others, but my mistrustful side can get in my way. I dream of keeping my forest safe from mean people in danger. That's Ro. I love them.
Love them.
Nice.
Yeah, so they are from a forest that I imagine is probably maybe close to one of the port cities that Valerith will stop at. So the travelers that they try to protect are often coming or, going from or to that city and or Valerith itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did we have an idea yet for what brought Ro to Valerith in the first place?
Yeah, I had the idea. It's still thery vague, so totally didn't tell me workshop it. But I had the idea that sort of their whole thing was they had been found by and rescued and pretty much abandoned attack by the wolf pack that raised them. So I'm thinking only recently, years later, do they find the wreckage of that now, and it's pretty much totally empty, but maybe they find something with the seal of the city or something on it. So they're this is now the only clue I have for where I came from before here, so I'll go that way. And I figure that's something that'll, get him into the city and gives you plenty of shit to play with next.
So is this parent quest or is this who was I? Where am I from?
Could be either, really. I think they don't necessarily have too many expectations one way or the other.
Okay.
They're just sort of looking for any answers, but they're also, still kind of learning and like piecing, I think together sort of like the weight of what that really means. So that's probably something they'll be like, I don't know, working on.
Yeah, totally. Kind of hard considering you were named off a wolf noise. So we have like a name to go off of.
Right? So, that's why I'm like, I don't really know what was they found. Maybe it's like, something that might be able to give them more of a lead once they get to the city and out of jail. Where I do imagine they just pretty much either got like put in there because it was like unsupervised, like wild child, what do, like, well, where it
with a fucking wolf.
Yeah, pretty much.
At some point, I want to see the flashback of Ro convincing some hapless gondola operator to fly them up to the city.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe they got paid a lot by like people that they've saved and rescued over the years, so while they have no need or concept of money, they're just like, I've got all these little discs that people keep giving me for things I do for them. Do you want, does this help?
Would you do it for all this?
Yeah. I normally just use them to practice my rock skipping, but people out here seem to really like it.
The gondola operator just retired after that day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. Love it. Faris? Is it Faris, or I have that pronunciation right?
I've been saying it Faris, but I actually haven't looked up how you do
Faris.
it.
Faris. Well, it's up to you.
Yeah.
It's your character.
I've been saying it Faris, so cool. So hi, my name is Faris, she, her pronouns. I'm 23 years old and stand 6'1" tall. I'm the party's invoker. When people see me, they first notice my muscular physique, dark auburn hair, and warm brown skin adorned with golden tattoos. I wear decorated golden armor, looking worse for wear, and move with determined strides. I'm from a great city atop an arid mesa, where my people are known for studying the solar system through both science and magic. I believe in protecting those who can't protect themselves, but my audacious side can get in the way. I dream of finding a new purpose, is what I put before we came up with this other stuff, so I might change that now, but yeah. Everyone just dropping wife in the chat.
You had me at 6'1".
And meanwhile, Annette's like, I love mesa landforms.
Like, you had me at 6'1", and you had me again at muscular physique. You just think you're about 5'3",
so valid.
and I'm just like, oh.
It would be the same for me, so you're valid.
I'm just like, so what kind of armor was this again?
Tell us more.
One point earlier today.
So it's based on
one point earlier today.
Sorry.
Ooh. One point earlier today, we mentioned the concept. You mentioned a couple ideas for the jail connection, which I think will be grand to think about and land on. But yeah, I think you're sitting good.
Yeah, there's just some things I'll tweak about the stuff I've already told you about her backstory to make it fit with this, but I think, like, the more I think on it, the more I think I can make it work really well, so, yeah.
Hell yeah. And of course, Dr. Falwin Donor.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Dr. Falwin Donor. He, them pronouns. I am 36 years old and stand just over 2 meters, about 6'1". I'm the party's doctor. When people see me, they first notice my blackened veins and pale skin, masked face, and that I have an air of mystery. I wear a long black robe and a black doctor's mask, and I move with an odd gait. I'm from, I have a name here, so I'm just going to say it. I'm from a mountain stronghold of Suravan, where my people are known for their pallid knights, the warriors who fight off evil. I believe in compassion for all, but my thirst for knowledge can get in my way. I dream of a land where everyone can be free from all ills.
So, fun fact, I actually needed a mountain stronghold for reasons TM. What was that name?
Suravan. I'll type it in for you.
Epic. Fortuitous how these things happen sometimes.
Yes. It is technically in from his land 3 words put together, but they just smush it.
Cool. That seems like we're solid.
Yes, I will just note, because anyone that's spent any time with him would know that he is missing his right leg, and in place of it is a prosthetic leg. It's why he moves with an odd gait. But if you don't see it because his robes go all the way down, he just seems kind of weird in his movements.
Prosthetic buddies.
Yeah, everyone's just,
Here for the disability rep.
Yeah.
Come for the disability rep, stay for the betrayal.
Yep.
Oh no.
I'm watching you, Izza.
So, Izza, does this
Don't look at my wife like that.
does this
Sorry, future
city
wife.
have a name? The Mesa.
Yeah, I
the
just
Mesa?
haven't thought of it yet. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'll like go look on some websites.
I was like, I'm
Okay.
scrolling through
Translations and
fantasy.
stuff.
I'm scrolling through city name generators right now, trying to figure
Nice.
out a name for our city, and like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
am coming up empty.
Some of those
So-
city name like place websites are really bad as well.
Yeah,
the
it's
one.
true.
So I love fantasynamegenerators.com with all I have, but their city name generator.
It's so bad. Yeah.
How are you envisioning the city that we're from being, Megan? Maybe I can help.
Fancy.
Fancy. Okay.
Fancy.
High something. High.
Ooh. Yeah, like I'm
Yeah, and it doesn't
seeing it
need
as
to be.
kind of opulent.
Yeah.
I
Like
can
a kind of
in
place-
the Orlath Empire. I don't know.
Like the kind of place with like a lot of people to rob that just don't need as much stuff as they have.
What
what
name
are
did you
those?
say, Nat?
I said High Kenzor in the Orlath Empire, just as a thing off the top of my head.
I mean, that sounds like a name to me.
Love it.
Sounds
Yeah.
pretty good.
It is in
There
fact
we
a
go.
name.
It is in fact a name.
It
Print
is
it.
a name.
Cut it, print it.
Use
That's a
a
take.
name.
So, but do you have like a specific geography location for it in mind, Nat, or can we just place it wherever?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt tentatively say that this is nearby enough from wherever the city that Faris is from is, because I would like Zake to be a second generation immigrant in this empire, in this High Kenza, right? And his parents would be from Faris city.
Ah, cool.
Ooh.
I like that. So, Robert, if the Knights of Sur isn't a Knights of Dre reference, you're fired.
It is now. Asur means light. So they're literally just Knights of Light.
A lot of light and sun
I love it.
figurative.
It's a good motif.
Symbolism. Or
Yeah.
as they say, it's symbology.
Where I come from, everyone's all like, light. And then here comes this drab, macabre guy walking out.
And then the one goth.
Yeah, the goth.
The one goth kid.
Yep.
Honestly, it's just because I miss being outside so much.
Oh.
That's valid. I spent too much time outside because I walked to get coffee, and then when I got home, my credit card was missing, and they didn't have it at the place, so I walked the entire length back and forth again to look for it.
Oh.
I was very warm.
That's Valarith.
That's no wait. It's Valarith, yes.
Valerith.
Valarith. Okay.
Whatever.
Valerith. I don't just honestly,
No,
it's a
you have-
name I made up.
No, you
Say
have
it
to-
however the fuck you want.
No, I refuse.
No.
Rose
You
gonna
created
say
it,
it a
Nat.
different
We're saying
way every
correctly.
time.
Yeah,
I love this town of
Valarith.
Valikar. Just
Valathan.
taking Valathan. Ooh, it's a nice one.
Damn, this name generator is so bad.
It's so
Okay.
bad.
Let's help Isa as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So like, I want it to have some kind of relation to like the sun, or a word that means something to do with like astronomy.
Okay.
Stuff like that. General.
Just call it parhelion. It's fine.
Shamsana.
Call it perihelion. The name of my game about the sun and the moon, which is a cool astronomical term that I googled.
Yeah, I might just Google some cool astronomical terms and then come back.
That's how I named that game.
Yeah,
there's some really cool.
Right, or just make like an anagram of a term or something.
Yeah.
So in Latin languages, sun is sol. So you might.
Yeah, I'm already using that for something else to do with the city.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want the city to also have a name to do with Sol. I was also thinking of like Helios, the Greek.
Yep, Helios. Yeah.
But I
That's
don't know if that's like mixing and matching too much. But also considering that I'm very much basing this on like Faris's outfit and everything is designed to look like Islamic clothing. Like I was wondering if I should take something from one of those languages. So yeah, I was just
That's
a
fire.
bit more.
That's why I said Al-Shamas.
What is sun?
But
in Turkish?
that's really just sun.
Yeah.
The sun.
Sun City.
It's kind of what Al-Shamas would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that later
Okay.
because I get like really picky over that kind of thing. I'll spend ages. I'll literally spend like 3 hours coming up with this one name.
No, that's
me.
definitely valid.
There is a reason I'm not. I'm not trying to iron out all the names right now.
Yeah,
And I've got a lot of other
Although
shit to
Nunu
name
is,
as well.
but that's
so.
okay.
I am. Sucker for names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love names. When I figure out the name for an NPC, that's often the point where I have everything about the NPC figured out. It just locks into place at that point.
Sure.
For me, yeah, like the name is either what I think of first or it's what I think of last after just like agonizing over it for far too long.
Sure. All right.
Alrighty. So Nat, what else?
Yeah.
Well, at this point, it's just talking about where we're from, which we've basically done already, and we're done. Does anyone have anything they want to add about where they're from to add some detail or some nouns or some plot hook or a little bit of aspect? I will ask you questions later, but that's probably how we will initiate the campaign, is by asking you to inflict upon the world more, but those will be more guided.
Okay.
Because that's how it tends to be my style. Just make the players tell all the story for me.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's happening
Unless
to
you
people
want
who
us
aren't
to, unless you want us to add something to the world now, then maybe we can just do it in session 1. I don't know. Up to you.
Yeah. I might want a little more information about Rose Forest, but then again, Ro is, Ro wouldn't have like all the fancy names and shit,
Yeah.
It'd just be my
that's fair.
forest.
Yeah.
And Ro knows where it is.
I mean, they probably by now would know like what people at least call it, because they,
Sure, that's fair, that's fair.
still interact with travelers at some point.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure.
Right, so
yeah.
I'd like that figured out at some point, but I don't need that figured out now.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, like, I just sort of had the idea that maybe, like, the city that's nearby, which is also where so many travelers come, may not be, like, that great of a city, Like, maybe that's also where a lot of the bandits in the area come from, and that's why it's such, like, a constant problem.
Yeah. Historically, a lot of banditry was sponsored by the nobles in the area as a form of unofficial taxation on travelers.
Well, then, there you go. That would definitely make sense, especially if, like, right now, at least, their one clue from the, their, like, childhood is something to do with the city. Maybe they found, like, a weapon with, like, the Baron seal on it or something. Site, and they're like, what the fuck is this? Except not really, because they're 12. Actually, they probably curse real bad.
Probably.
Most of the language they get is from travelers and bandits. Like, they probably
it's
either don't
gonna
curse
be
at
like,
all, or it's a lot. and they don't understand why people are upset by it.
Yeah, it's either like none at all, butts and fiddlesticks, or it's like, they just like a fucking sailor.
Right?
Or stuff you do not want to hear from a 12-year-old.
I'm now wondering if there's do you have like wolf curse words that the wolves use?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to learn how to make like dog sounds.
Yeah. You have done this to yourself.
I know. I'm gonna have to start doing tech somehow just so I can run my own like sound effects.
This is the trade-off for not having to wear a wig. I don't have to wear a wig, but I need to learn how to make wolf sounds.
God damn it! Didn't give myself an accent this time, but fuck.
Well, yeah, I need to figure that out eventually as well.
Just be Nunu. Just be Nunu.
This time around, just
literally phone it in even. Just go as like not caring as possible.
So at 6:33, only slightly longer than a whole last session, although we started like 25 minutes late.
Or 9:33, or
we are done. Oh yeah, I'm the only Pacific one standing
that's
here.
True. Yeah, it is 9:34 here, so.
And it's 2:34 for our UKers.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Stop complaining.
Well, that's a good time to wrap it, I suppose.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'll switch us away from the recording. I have no idea when we're going to be posting this or playing it exactly, so if we haven't aired our premiere yet, it's going to be on Monday, August 10th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern over on the Chromatic Chimera. Because I think we were talking about either pre-airing this on our Twitch or posting it like sometime maybe when we were off one day, so you'll see it one day, we promise. Alright, I'm going to switch us away now.
Bye.
Bye.